Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Mariandrea, and this is my weekend review video for the week ending on Sunday, June 15th. Today is Monday, June 16th, and I did not get to film my weekend review video yesterday because I went to a pachanga, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. I want to start out with highs and lows for the week. So my highs for the week have been cold foods and drinks like salads and smoothie bowls and iced tea. And I also got the first pedicure in over 5 years, which I didn't realize how much I needed to do something good to take care of my feet. And I attended a protest in my community, and that was a lot of fun. But the lows. So I did attend this protest and I got really, really toasty because I did not wear sunscreen. I forgot to wear sunscreen and I left the protest really red and I thought I had gotten burned, but I just got very toasty. And then another bit of a low, I went to my father-in-law's birthday pachanga yesterday and it was a lot of fun. That was not a low. The low was that the band or the DJ played a Huapango, and I love a good Huapango, and I sat it out because no one around me wanted to dance, and I just sat there. It just goes on and on and on, and this repetitive chord that is just a lot of fun to dance. And I didn't get to. Hopefully, next time I get invited to a big party like this, like a quinceañera, I am going to make up for this regret of having missed a good Huapango. Okay, so I have not posted anything to my community post this week, and I did get to a tag. I was able to post the behind the scenes book tag in which I talked about Booktube FOMO. And I'm so grateful to those of you who watched and commented on the video and let me know that I am not alone in the FOMO. I think we're all bound to feel that way from time to time here on Booktube when there's too many events and too many books to read, and you just feel like you're always missing out on a really great reading event or a buddy read because you just can't keep up with the group, or there's just too many books and your TBR is stacked, and then that booktuber you love to watch is talking about all these really great books that you haven't gotten to and you really, really want to. So I think we're all bound to experience that from time to time and always feeling like you're a little behind everybody else in your reading. It happens, and I'm glad that there were some of you who said you feel that too sometimes, and that was encouraging to hear that I'm not alone. And books that I finished. So I finished The Distant Marvels by Chantel Acevedo. This was the March Books and Bocadillos book club pick, and I've mentioned before I had to take a pause. I had to take time in March to take care of grief and some tough stuff in that month, and I put some of my reading projects on hold, and that was one of them, unfortunately. I ended up deciding to take my time with it to finish. I didn't want to pressure myself to finish it. And I'm glad that I took my time because I took it slow, I really savored it, and I finished it yesterday, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I cannot wait to talk more about it. And just today, a little bit of a sneak peek. Today, I finished The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. I haven't yet gone to the Discord groups to talk about it, but I am looking forward to catching up with all the Discord comments. And I am still currently reading In the Unlikely Event by Judy Blume, and this is one of Judy Blume's adult fiction novels. I also started Deenie by Judy Blume, and this is one of Judy Blume's YA novels. And this book is making me feel quite old because I'm having big adult feelings about this book that I will talk about when I finish it. I'm still rereading or reading through my second read through of Black Water Sister by Zen Cho, and I'm really enjoying it this second time around. And I'm also still reading The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. Now on to the DNF. I did DNF a book. You might recall if you watched my last weekend review video that I said I was going to power through and finish Detransition Baby for book club. Well, the book club took place this weekend and I DNF'd Detransition Baby. And I talked a little bit about that. So when I DNF a book, I don't give it a star rating. I DNF'd it at about the 70 to 75% part of the book. I DNF'd it because I just wasn't in the mood to pick it up. Detransition Baby is very well written. I think Torrey Peters is a great writer, and I cannot wait to read more of their work. But with Detransition Baby, I think what just did it for me was that I started listening to the New York Times podcast, The Protocol, which starts out with laying out the Dutch protocol for helping children transition into the gender that they feel, and it talked about just the ways in which trans people, particularly kids, are given attention and medical care to help them cope with their transition to the gender that they feel they are, not their assigned gender at birth. And I guess as I was listening to, I'm still working my way through the podcast episodes, but because it's a series, and as I'm taking in all of the studies that have been done, all of the people that have participated and given their time and their life to the testing, and I just felt like this book made it so like detransitioning is something that it's something that you can just do. Like it's like so fluid. When it doesn't feel fluid, when for people who need and want the medical care, when our healthcare system doesn't provide that support for people, it just doesn't feel like it's a fluid choice. Like it feels like it's such a choice that you have to sacrifice so much for, and it requires so much advocacy on behalf of so many counselors and medical professionals to get the care that you need to transition in the first place, to then make it such a fluid choice of, okay, now I'm detransitioning. I don't know. I didn't finish it, but I just really struggled with that juxtaposed with the stories that I was witnessing through the listening of the podcast by the New York Times, the Protocol podcast series. The writing was really good. It was excellent. The story was messy. I think it was meant to be messy. It read like a romp. When I wasn't in the mood to read a romp, because I felt like this was my first entry into a story about the life of a trans person. I just felt like there was a nonchalance that I did not appreciate in this novel. a perceived nonchalance. I know it wasn't. There's also a lot of trauma that made me really struggle. And I know that trauma is the reality of many people. It was just really difficult for me to read at this time. So maybe this was just not the right time. Maybe I need to read more works by trans authors, more stories about people who transition and detransition, to then be able to give it a fair review. So take this with a grain of salt, because this may just be my experience, and this might just be a little moment in time when I don't fully understand or can really objectively see the big picture of what Torrey Peters is trying to do in this novel. I'm missing something, and I just was not drawn into the story the way I wanted to be drawn in. You know, like when you really want to enjoy a book, like everybody's talked about it. It's been so hyped, and there's some really great reviews for it, and you really want to love it, and then it's just not working for you. Felt like that's what was happening to me. And that's what feels like a little bit of the FOMO that I'm talking about, when you really want to love something and everybody around you is saying how great this is, and then you don't. It feels like you're missing something. I feel that way about Detransition Baby, but I'm okay with feeling that way about it right now. I don't see myself wanting to read this or finish it. I think hearing what others had to say in the book club discussion is enough for me, and I am curious. I would like to read other work by Torrey Peters, and I want to continue to explore stories by and about trans people. Now, a community event that I want to talk about that I'm really excited for, and this would be my first time participating in this event, is Ktropeathon. I heard about Ktropeathon from Crystal at the channel Fiber Artsy, and I really have enjoyed Crystal's videos about Ktropeathon in the past, and currently I haven't participated in it. I do love K-dramas, and I do enjoy K-pop. I'm probably not fully in the know of all things K-pop as most people are, but I do enjoy having some K-pop music in my playlist. And a few of the books that are on my radar that I've acquired and have not read previously, or I haven't yet bought, but they're books that I'm really excited to read, are the following. And you tell me in the comments if you're participating in Ktropeathon. My goal, there's a whole card and events and all this stuff. I am probably going to keep it very low key. I'll be happy if I read one book from this list that I'm going to talk about. I'm probably going to go to that Korean restaurant in my hometown that I recently discovered, where they make the veggie bibimbap. I love it when the rice gets really toasty, and I can't wait to have some soon. And I'm probably also going to watch a K-drama, preferably one that I could watch these K-dramas again and again, so I tend to really love one and then just keep watching it again and again. But maybe I'll try something new. I think Crystal, or one of the videos that I watched on Ktropeathon talked about Crash Landing on You, That one is on my Netflix queue, and I haven't started it yet, but maybe I'll start it because it looks really cute. So the books that I'm thinking about as possibilities are The Disaster Tourist by Yoon Ko-un. Let me read a little bit about what this one's about. And you can tell me in the comments if any of these books are books that you would recommend. And maybe I'll create a poll and see what you recommend, and I'll read the one that you think that people think I should read. So The Disaster Tourist, a bit of a synopsis here. Yona works for a disaster tourism agency which organizes tours to places ravaged by tsunamis, earthquakes, poverty, or other calamities. Death is an attraction for vacationers in this bitter satire of capitalism. I feel like that is like the perfect summer book for me, and I would love to read it. This book was published in 2020. It's a book in translation. And then I have Kim Jiyoung, born 1982 by Cho Nam-ju. And this is about a young mother is driven to psychosis in this novel, a huge bestseller in South Korea, where it helped spark a fiery Me Too movement. And this is also from 2020. This one has been on my radar, and I think I have this as an ebook, and I've been wanting to read it for a while. I also have this one, I think, as an ebook. It's The Plotters by Kim Un-soo. A thoughtful assassin works for a secret cabal out of a secret lair in a library. The suspense story is tied to real-world political events, allowing for commentary on the nature of fascism, martial law, democracy, and capitalism. And that sounds really good. And this is a book that was published in 2019. I also have Han Kang books. So there's a few Han Kang books that I have. I can either read The Vegetarian, Human Acts, or We Do Not Part. Those are 3 books that I have access to easily by Han Kang. I've been really curious about those books. I've also heard a lot of hype about Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop, and this is a cozy book, and I think it might be a good thing to have a cozy book this summer, so that's what I'm also considering. I have this on my physical shelves, Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung. This is a collection of short stories translated by Anton, and let me read it to you. So this one says, from an author never before published in the United States, Cursed Bunny is unique and imaginative, blending horror, sci-fi, fairy tales, and speculative fiction into stories that defy categorization, by turns thought-provoking and stomach-turning. Here, monsters take the shapes of furry woodland creatures, and danger lurks in unexpected corners of everyday apartment buildings. But in this unforgettable collection, translated by the acclaimed Anton, Chung's absurd, haunting universe could be our own. So this has a bunch of stories that sound really, really good. And I might just pick 1 or 2 up, I think. With a short story collection, I don't feel compelled to read it from start to finish. I actually like taking it slow. I also have Free Food for Millionaires by Min-Jin Lee as an ebook or audiobook. So I have that available to me. And that's it. Those are my options. I'll probably see if I can create a community post, but I welcome feedback on any of these and which you think I should read for Ktropeathon. For a podcast, I've been mentioning the protocol, the New York Times, the protocol. I'm still working on completing that series, so I don't have any other podcast episodes to share for now. And for food, I want to talk about acai bowls. I really am loving acai bowls lately. There was this one day last week where it was such a hot summer day, and I was in the office, and I said, "Does anybody else want an acai bowl?" And I hadn't had lunch, but I wanted to keep my lunch a little on the lighter end, so I ended up ordering delivery of acai bowls for myself and those in the office with me, and it really hit the spot. I think we were all just really like, so good. So acai bowls have been a real joy lately. And looking ahead, I am looking forward to traveling to Tennessee this week. So I will be away for a few days in Tennessee, and I will likely not be around my Booktube community in terms of posting content on Booktube for the next couple of weeks. I won't be putting up a weekend review video next weekend, and so it won't be till the last weekend in June that I can get back into the swing of things due to some travel in the coming days. So that is it for my weekend review. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Hasta la próxima.